You're watching HNL. I'm Ursula, and we're speaking to Nico Steyn about having a confident mindset. I think a lot of confidence has to do with your belief systems. It's where your actions come from. But let's first go to the other side. Mm-hmm. What limiting beliefs have you had to overcome on your journey?
I often hear, more recently I've heard a lot of people talk about imposter syndrome and so on. I think maybe I come from an era, back in the 80s, when you were out there doing stuff, we were fairly fearless. And I think that I only recently started bumping into it, maybe more so now that I'm getting older and bumping into people who have confidence issues or talk about this a lot. It wasn't really something that we talked about. And maybe if something isn't there or if it's not talked about, it's not real and then it doesn't exist. It's like monsters under the bed.
Give it a moment. That's important. Because don't you think we talk about imposter syndrome so much, and now everybody has it, and now we're living that narrative.
We start to doubt ourselves. I'm pretty sure of this because I think that if I look back at it, I go, did I ever panic that I wouldn't be able to be a creative director or wouldn't be able to make a movie? Hell no, I just got in and did it, and that's always been a kind of motto that I had was just do it, get on with it, and so sometimes I feel a little bit impatient with people when I deal with issues of lack of confidence or so, because I don't really, I'm very blessed that I don't relate to it or don't understand it so well in my own life.
I think that's a big thing, is that the action gives confidence. And just the watching and sitting back and holding yourself back, you take away your power.
Absolutely.
And you don't have any confidence.
If you doubt it, then you're already, you lost it. You got to get in there and do it.
Okay, so we're doing it. We're getting in there and doing it. What are you doing? I know you're building something big.
You know what? I think for a long time now, I've been trying to talk to people about going digital, about digitizing their content, about getting out of the space of coaching one-to-one and getting one-to-many and broadcasting or narrowcasting as we do in this space. And it has been really difficult. So in a blessed kind of way, COVID has helped us to do that. A lot more people digitized and a lot more people started going, I have to be online, I have to have online visibility. And so I think it's now at that stage where we're beginning to be ready to build something to help particularly South African trainers and coaches and speakers also to get out there in the world, because I think we have some pretty insanely important things to say and great things to share with the rest of the world. But I think back to that confidence thing, I think people have always gone, well, it works in our own backyard, so why not do that? And I think it's time. So I'm busy working at the moment on a summit or a very, very big project where I want to pull in a lot of coaches and trainers, particularly people who work in the online space, face-to-face, but locally, to migrate into an international space where we want to go and create something with some 30 speakers and people presenting stuff online and digitizing their material in order to get it online.
I think that's definitely the way to go. So is there a call to action for somebody? Who do you want?
We're early days and just beginning.
Okay.
It's definitely in the space of entrepreneurship, because I think everyone wants a side hustle. I think everybody's thinking about making a little bit more money right now, right? And also self-improvement and well-being. People who train and coach in well-being, in figuring out your own life and figuring out what you're going to do, because I think we've all been in isolation for so long that it's beginning to show up in crazy ways, and people just need to jump out. So that's what we've come up with, which is HybriCon 2022, which is an idea to help people broadcast themselves, to get themselves out there. And that's really what I'm thinking of doing next.
And I really believe that in sharing those voices and developing those voices, you've got to speak. Speakers speak. So this is fantastic that you are sharing that good of more people with the world for bigger audiences.
Thank you. We're hoping to get people to get their voices out there in a big way.
Now, I ask this question to all my guests. What does confidence look and feel like to you?
Golly, it's such a hard one, because I listen to all your guests always. For me, it's an interesting thing. I don't think there's one thing that you can put your finger on, right? I don't know that it's necessarily voice. I don't know that it's necessarily a look or so. I have an example of a dear friend who I think has so much presence and is so spectacular, but wears Crocs. And will show up in a work environment with serious business folks in suits in Crocs. and a fabulous scarf, and she'll look fantastic. And I think that's confidence to me. So it's a sense of seeing somebody who's got real pizzazzy personality, and they are so comfortable in their skin that they won't stand back for anything.
So there's that element of authenticity.
Sheer authenticity, I think, and it's a very fine line, because it's not somebody who tries to be authentic or tries to be different she's just comfortable. And if you're comfortable in your own skin, you can go anywhere.
So I want to share, because you coached me a bit with this show.
Thank you. I did.
You did. On my introduction.
Okay.
Okay, so my introduction wasn't comfortable. For the first few shows, I used to stumble over my introduction. And I used to say to you, Nico, I keep stumbling. And you said, no, but you need to be more international.
Was that the word?
That was the word, very specifically that word.
For you.
And so my intro was, hello and a warm welcome to the High Noon Live. And then stumble.
It's lovely,
And you said it's not lovely. You said, no man,
it's licking it up a bit.
Warm welcome. Like, get rid of it. Be punchy, be fast, be sexy.
Yeah.
So now it is... You're watching HNL. I'm Ursula Buerta. We're talking about confidence.
I love that.
Okay, so what do you love about that?
Do you know what I think is, I think something that happened, particularly in South Africa probably, because we were exposed to a lot more American programming in the early days of television here, I think that we see a lot more of the phrasing, and we hear a lot more of that kind of phrasing. And if you look at the American model for television programming, there's a very specific way of phrasing and of saying things, and it would be, welcome back, you're watching this. There's a fabulousness about it, and it gets out there, where a lot of the British shows that we now is a little bit underplayed, and it's a little bit, we're still here and we're all British and we're a little bit tied to upper lip, and I think that's what I like about the showness of it. And I think that online right now we lack a little bit of that showiness of it. I mean, you'll see on the show we put a pizzazzy piece of music, and we've got something that's a little bit left of field, because I think that's showtime.
It is showtime, and I think a lot of people can learn from this who are starting podcasts, and we're moving online. Everybody's creating content, so there's a lot we can learn from that. And I want to share what I love about that intro is we're making it about the audience member. You're watching HNL. I'm Ursula, and this is what we're going to uncover. Nico Steyn, on that note, we have to come to an end. Oh, sad. But where can people connect with you?
Thank you, Ursula. I'm mostly here on LinkedIn as we are live at the moment.
You're great.
And
on
I think
LinkedIn.
that's about it. Or check out mybigsmartup.com, and that's where we have a lot of our content, and that's where we share some ideas, and pretty much in the next month or two talk a lot more about the summit, about HybridCon.
Well, we are looking forward to HybridCon. I can't wait to hear more, and we will be following you. And thank you for joining in. We hope you learned lots more that you can add in your little toolkit for confidence. And if you want to know more about building your confident voice, you can check out www.confidentvoices.co.za. And we'll see you next week, same time at noon on LinkedIn.